Welcome back to the Auto Show. I'm Bex. Today we're going to talk everything from origin story to bodybuilding and discipline, gym ownership, leadership, fatherhood, and just community outreach and impact with the one and only Juan Caceres, from warehouse to meal prep to gym owner. Here he is.
What's up, guys? My name is Juan Caceres. I'm owner of Revival Fitness, and I'm happy to be here.
I love it. Juan, thank you so much for coming here today. I remember just multiple times of just seeing you. It was funny. I had been a member of Revival for probably maybe like 6 months until I finally said hello to you and was like, hey, Juan, you were like vacuuming, I think, where the old like lateral raise.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Juan, I realized like we've never sat and had a true conversation and gotten to know you. And then I looked at the clock and it was like 30 minutes later and we're just talking about your life and everything.
Yeah.
And then it's been really cool because since then, seeing you go from that small location, which was your second location, into the third one, I've just been able to kind of corner you and meet more and more about you. And then kind of walking through Revival, I had mentioned earlier with you that I will tell a story about you that people don't know, and then they tell me things that I don't know. And I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like there's so many sides of Juan that people don't know. So thanks for coming in and being able to be a little bit more open and teach us about yourself. So we're gonna start today with kind of like origin story and like early life. So if you can picture yourself from like young Juan into right before you start like working in warehouses, what was your life before bodybuilding and like owning a gym? Like what was like young Juan, what was your life like?
Yeah, so honestly, like as like a younger kid, like one thing that's crazy was I was super overweight. And that was like one of the biggest like hardships that I always faced as a kid. Because I had difficulty at school, like getting picked on. But not only that, but also like at home and family. Like my nickname was Gordo.
I was gonna say, what was your nickname?
Yeah, so it's like, dude, I heard it all the time, and it was something that weighed on me very heavy. Was just the fact that I was overweight as a kid, and it just kind of like, I remember it's kind of like everyone's story where I saw Pumping Iron for the first time and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, holy shit, like how does this happen? How can you achieve that? But just honestly, I had like the most unhealthy relationship with food, and it was kind of like my parents doing, like unknowing. It was just, they're busy parents. And my mom would always have like the microwavable, like the Hot Pockets.
Oh yeah.
The cup of noodles.
I was like, I grew up on cup of, what is it, like?
Dinosaur nuggets. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. So it just, I didn't know anything about nutrition or all these things. But again, like it's nice that I had that hardship, because what it taught me was something that like, hey dude, you're capable of doing these things and changing not only your body, but your mind as well, because I was able to teach myself nutrition, training, and it was just like picking and learning, like I just tried to learn from bodybuilders or even people at the gym. For you, I guess, what age did you kind of sit down and you look in the mirror and you're like, hey, like things have to change? Oh, yeah.
And did you feel confident enough to be like, hey, things need to change? How old were you?
I think I was 12. Yeah,
you were 12,
so I was
okay.
12 years old. I was in 7th grade. And so it's kind of a cool story. My mom was a hairstylist, and she told me that day, she was like, hey, Juan, like, I cut the hair today of a guy who's a boxing coach. And this is when I lived in Hesperia. She's like, but his gym is in Victorville, like 20 minutes away, the next city over. She's like, he says he's willing to pick you up at the hair salon where my mom worked at, which was like a mile away.
Yeah.
She's like, are you willing to like walk over there and he'll pick you up, take you to the gym, train, come back, drop you off, and then walk back home. And to me, it was like scary, but I was also like, I knew that's heading into the direction of something I wanted to achieve, right?
Gotcha.
So I got into boxing from 7th grade up until 9th grade, and I loved it. Like, it taught me discipline. It taught me just, hey dude, if you don't put the work in, like you're literally gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
So it was, sorry, but it was when I was 12, and thanks to the boxing coach, like willing to help us out. He was like a nice mentor for me too. Like we'd have nice talks on the way to the gym and back from the gym. Like, oh, he was my first gym owner, technically.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, already like hanging out with gym owners.
Yep.
Was there a moment that you had to choose between an easy path or a difficult path?
I think all the time. But if I could think of one for sure that was very, very impactful, I think was definitely like when I got fired from my job. This was back in 2018. Yeah,
okay,
damn.
so 12, and then how old are you in 2018?
2018, I am now, I think 22 years old. Yeah, 22.
So you went to junior high, graduated from high school. Did you go to college in between?
So I did go. I literally did just one semester at Cal State Fullerton.
Nice.
But I quickly realized, like, kind of not for me. Like, I didn't see... I've just always been like an outside the box thinker.
Okay.
And not to like knock on anyone that chooses that path, but to me, it just... I feel like there's different paths we could all take to success.
Yeah.
And to some people, success looks very different, you know? To me, success has always been waking up and being happy with your life. You know, that's like when you feel like you've made it, you know? But to go back to that one like moment where I had to choose an easy life or a hard life, it was definitely in 2018. I got fired from my job, and at that time, I was doing my meal prep business like on the side, but my meal prep business was booming, and it was something I knew I could take full time, but I was so scared. Like I was terrified.
So we're gonna dive into that because I have one of the cool things too is like I am also an entrepreneur. So you have a successful business, and the reason why I ask you this is I can name multiple people that I have in my life currently that go, I'm still at my corporate job. Or I'm thinking about leaving and their performance is decreasing, or they've just gotten fired and they have this side gig that's doing pretty decent. What kind of made you just go, F it, I'm going to jump off the cliff. I'm just going to fall and let myself go into this meal prep business?
Well, definitely. I mean, I didn't have a choice there. I got fired. So that made it easy. But like,
But you could have gotten another job.
Yeah,
like you could have gone and like gotten another job.
But thank God I had like I've always been like smart with my money. So I had like a comfortable savings. And I'm like, dude, I truly do believe that like when God gives us hardships in life, it's truly to just it's just like, hey dude, I'm sorry, Juan, like this is gonna be scary, but I'm gonna close this door for you, and I promise you I'm gonna lead you down a bigger and better path for you. Like at the time, I never thought gym owner, all these things, you know, at the time it was just meal prep. That was all I was doing. And I don't want to say happy doing meal preps, but I was content with it. Like, hey, it provided pretty good income for my family. I was able to be there for my son. Like the flexibility was there. But yeah, like it still was very scary. But again, like I knew how hard, like for example, that job, I was doing basically a 3-man job on my own. So I knew how hard I was willing to work for something, and I knew the payoff was going to be better because that job I was getting like a 25-cent raise every year, you know? So I knew it, like, dude, if you really bust your butt the way you do for this company and do that towards yourself, you're going to be successful.
How old was your son at the time?
Oh man, Caleb, 2018, he was 3 years old.
I would be so
scared. That's what was, because if I would have been on my own, it'd be no problem. If I fail, I just can live in my car for a little bit, you know? But like,
you know,
having a mouth to feed though, that's way scarier.
I just became a dog mom and I literally panicked.
I know.
Just a little dog,
exactly.
but a whole human.
Yep, I know. So, but again though, like having that pressure, it really is like a privilege, you know? It wakes you up in the morning and just makes you not want to slack, you know? Like, hey dude, if I am not up to par with everything, my kid might not eat, I might not pay my rent, you know, and it just, yeah, thank God for Caleb.
Did you have moments of like doubt?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
How was your
all the
inner
time.
self-talk during that time?
Oh, dude, it was the scariest thing. But I won't lie, like having faith in God and having like Caleb, just it really helped me. I don't want to say stay focused, but kind of keep my goals lined up, you know?
Okay.
Because yeah, it was terrifying. Like it would keep me up at night. Like, dude, what if nobody orders any meal preps this week? And then for COVID happened, that was the scariest time because grocery stores, like it was impossible to get food, and it was like one of the scariest times of my life.
How did you run your business during COVID?
So that was, thank God, obviously everyone was understanding. But what I had to do was like, it was a very like select menu where, hey guys, honestly, I'm just going to be winging it to what I can get at the grocery store. It was crazy. It was super scary, but like, thank God we got it done.
I'm so interested that people would still order from you.
Yeah. So, you know, what's funny is like, I feel horrible saying it, but COVID ended up like really helping my business grow. And I think it was due to the fact that nobody really wanted to go to grocery stores and struggle, you know? So that like really helped me towards like my advantage, you know? So it was, I don't want to say it like, 'cause it sounds messed up, but COVID helped me out a lot with meal prep.
I completely believe it. Like the business that I was in during the time of COVID, it excelled because we did things people didn't want to do, you know, so it went really, really well. So I'm really glad. That was very interesting to me. What was one of your scarcity menus in COVID?
Shoot, I'm trying to think, because I remember even rice, like, because everyone stocked up on rice. I think, man, if I can recall, it was maybe like just like chicken Alfredo. I had to get really creative, and then I was doing wraps too, like chicken wraps.
Okay.
But like it was just very like limited, but thank God people were still supporting.
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
How many at your peak of your meal prep business, how many customers did you have?
Man, I would say like weekly it was around like close to like 100 clients a week.
Ordering like 2 to 3 meals for a day, or?
Like, cause I sold by packages, like 20 packages or so it would be crazy.
Holy shit.
I know, because I remember the minimum orders were 10 meal package.
Wow. And it was just you by yourself?
Pretty much, yeah, I know. So it was me taking orders. I would manage my website, obviously like customer feedback, things like that, replies. It was a lot.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I know.
What did owning a meal prep business teach you about being a gym owner now? Are there, because I believe that both paths correlate.
So definitely it taught me a lot about, I think like the most valuable thing is people skills. You know, that's one thing that I think is very underrated. I think the people skills is huge where like, for example, like it's a meal prep business. You're handling food. Things are going to go wrong sometimes, you know. But it's the way you handle these little hiccups. Or, for example, I remember one time a customer said they got a hair in their meal. And I'm like, it had never happened to me with, like, I was doing meal preps.
You're bald at the time? I'm kidding.
Right, I know, right? I didn't even have, like, facial hair, so I was like, that's crazy. And again, like, every part of me wanted to be like, yo, dude, how do I know you didn't just pluck out one of your hairs, put it there, send a picture to get your meals? But I was like, what I do is I always put myself in the person's position, where, hey, you know, I got a hair in my food, like this is so nasty, whatever, but you could still make up for it. And what I would want in a company is to just like maybe refund the order and then my bad, and then give you a discount on the next one. So that's what I would do. Like I remember this specific situation. Again, I was like, was that really me? But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep this customer happy, so hopefully they could order in the future. And I was like, hey, I'm so sorry that happened. That's very, very rare. But I do take your word for it. I refunded them their whole order, and then they ended up ordering consistently after that, and they were glad about how we handled it. So again, like people skills, you know, you got to put yourself in the customer or now like members position and like, hey, like if I was a member at this gym, what are some of the standards you got to hold yourself to? And if you walk in there and if you see a gym owner who's kind of like egotistic or something like that, like you're not going to feel welcome there. And it's nice, like I have no ego whatsoever. Like you've seen me, I'm vacuuming the gym. Me and Kim, we're cleaning the restrooms, taking trash out. Like I'm not embarrassed of it. Like if anything, I feel that it's nice for members to see that. Like, hey, like the owner is actually in here picking up after us. Like that's nice to see, you know? But yeah, people skills. And then I think just like from meal prep, what taught me too was just managing my time very good too, you know? Like I'm an early riser. Like I'll get up at 5 a.m. every day. And it just kind of, you're just a little more productive, you know? But people skills, time management, I think those are huge.
So what inspired you to open up a gym? Like how do you go from like meal prep into I'm gonna start a gym?
I know. So it's kind of a long story, but just to keep it simple, I had seen one guy open up a gym that was like, it was tiny. It was 800 square feet. And then I saw him go from there to a bigger location. And what it did though, it kind of opened my eyes to like, one, it's not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And two, like it's nice. Like you don't have to open up in this big grand spot. Like you can slowly grow. And that's one thing that sort of gave me confidence and like more, it kind of like attracted me to it where I was like, okay, dude, you don't need to start off with like a big $1 million gym to make it,
like a
you know?
6,500 square foot.
Yeah, like you can have a little spot and then eventually grow it out. You know, as long as you don't do anything drastic or crazy, like you could grow at your own pace. So I want to say like that's what helped me, but also like I did get that like behind the scenes knowledge, like helping this dude move locations, see how he went about like ordering equipment and things like that. And then when COVID happened, an old school gym that was by my house that I always wanted to be a member there. Like it was cool. They had the old school dumbbells like we have, the iron plates, all the old school machines, but their hours sucked. Like I remember they were open Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday open from like 7 to 2 p.m. and Sundays closed. So I was like, dang, dude, like that gym is awesome, but their hours suck, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
So when COVID happened, they went out of business and I was like, dang, dude, I think this is like a sign because I had just helped this dude open up his gym and I'm like, okay, I kind of know what it takes. And again, like it's kind of like a sign from God. I took it, you know, like, dude, this is your chance. You've always like wanted a gym and this spot's right there. And at the time I went with a partner and we went to go look at it and it was like too good to pass up. They had left their like sound system, a bunch of fans set up already. It even had like a water fountain, you know, the front desk was set up too. Like literally all it needed was gym equipment and it was a gym again.
Beautiful.
So we went ahead and did that, but then that partnership was like horrible just because it was 50-50, but I was the one doing all the work. I was the one that was maintaining the gym. And at one point, I even found the dude like trying to boss me around. And I'm like, hey, dude, this is not a partnership for me. So again, like when God closes one door, he will open up another. And what I thought was another hardship where the city came and told us like, hey, you guys got to close down. We were non-operable there just due to like city zoning. The landlord's like, dude, you guys got to get out. So what I did was I just, again, I took that as like my out and I was like, deuces, dude. What I did was I paid him for the equipment and then I opened up my spot in downtown Santa Ana, like right down the street from here. And I was there for 1 year and it was like the worst year ever. Like I kept having to like pay out of my own pocket to cover costs there.
Yeah.
And thank God, like for my meal prep business, I was able to afford that.
So you were still having your meal prep business and this?
Because we opened up that spot in 2021. And I never made $1 there, but like I did get closer to at least breaking even towards the end. So I still felt confident, like, dude, we got something here. I learned that location is very important. Yeah. So like parking, for example, there's parking not the best here. Also like being close to a freeway exit is huge. Things like that, So when we came across the location where we met, that's when I was like, dude, okay, it checks every box. Parking's good, location's good. And it was a big open space, So I'm like, okay, I gotta jump on it. And that was a crazy story too, just because they were asking for like a ton of money. But I was like, I don't know how, but I could do it. And one thing Joe always reminds me of is like, dude, you're crazy, because I just maxed out credit cards and did all kinds of things to be able to get the money and to get the keys for there. And then obviously you saw that location came with like its issues with like homeless. Parking was cool, but we had a lot of people nearby that were parking. And then the leaks. Then we had been looking for another location for years, just because that one wasn't up to par. No AC, like it just came with so many cons. And then what's crazy is when we came across the spot we have now, it was the landlord from the spot we had in 2021 that didn't work out. So it's crazy, because now looking back, I went through that one hard year, but in a way, like it did me good, because I built a relationship with the landlord where he was like, dude, you always paid on time. You left on good terms. Like it basically, since they knew me and I had a good history with him, I was like, yo, dude, when do you want the keys?
Yeah, you're shooing.
Yeah. So it was perfect. It was too good not to pass up. And now we're there.
I love that. So for you, because you moved multiple locations and you stated you're like, hey, I maxed out credit cards. Like, how did you know? Like, because I get it. Like, I'm a business owner myself, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm a big believer of like, fuck around and find out. I'm like, yes, I'm going to spend this much money on this, and yes, I'm going to do this. And I'm always like, what if people don't come in? And what kind of was the underlining drive of like, hey, it's okay. Like, the money will come.
So I think for me, it's always like having that like self-belief. Because I swear, planning wise, I'm not the best planner at all, but I just have that self-belief, like even when we toured the spot we're in now, just to get the keys alone, it was like 50 grand. And when we're touring it, I only have like 4 grand in my bank account, and I'm like, we got this.
You're like, I got it.
Yeah, and again, it's like, dude, like looking back, like where the hell, like
when did that self-belief start?
I think it's hard to pinpoint it, but I think it just came from like all these times where I've been in those situations where, dang, dude, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do right now or how I'm gonna get out of this, but you figure it out, whether it's like just having faith, and just obviously, you just got to get shit done, you figure things out. All the like problem solving skills I've developed, I think it just builds that confidence, because I have never been a confident person, but it just comes with
which is so crazy you say that, because you're like, I have high self-belief, but I have low confidence.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But that's the best way to put it.
That's amazing though. It's so dynamic.
Yeah, I know. So it's weird, but that's the best way to put it. It just came through all these hardships I've overcame.
How did becoming a father change the way you approach life and success?
Oh man, that's like everything. Because I think becoming a dad, like it just kicks you into this like gear. Like I think it's in our DNA as like a man, at least for myself. I know there's not a lot of dads like that.
Yeah.
But at least for myself, it was not like the best time of my life, because I was literally having panic attacks, because I knew like the anxiety of, hey dude, there's a baby coming that you have to take care of and financially provide for. Like I was having anxiety just knowing like, dude, you got to do better for yourself to provide for your little one. So it just, best way to put it, like it just kind of kicks a new gear in, you know, to just a whole different drive, and just you're not only working for yourself now, but for a whole other life that, you know, you have to provide for. So I think it was like one of the biggest blessings in my life, definitely.
So what kind of example do you hope that Caleb sees when he watches you work?
I really hope he knows, like, again, someone like myself that didn't come from money, not the most confident person. I hope he learns that, like, dude, just have that self-belief in yourself accompanied with, like, hard work. You'll get things done, you know? And I've always been one where, like, I don't want to die with regrets or dreams that I never chased. Because I think I'm sure you've heard it where, like, failure is just quitting, right? There's never failure if you just don't succeed in something. Yeah. Because you'll at least gain, like, lessons from it, you know? Yeah. So I really do hope that, you know, just even if we do fail along the road to whatever our goals are, it's never a bad thing. Never. It's just always, it's either another direction God's, like, aiming us towards, or it's just a lesson to learn from, you know? The only time you truly fail is when you just give up.
I love that. Yeah, I'm a big believer of you don't fail, you just get feedback. And there's seasons of, like, data gathering, and then there's seasons of, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Same with bodybuilding. Yeah, same with bodybuilding. That's
so question for you, like, what's, in your definition, what does a strong father actually mean to me? Like, mean to you? Like, what being, because you are a very strong man, but what does a strong father mean to you as a definition?
I think being a strong father is, I think there's different ways, right? But I would say for myself, it's just, it's hard to say because I didn't have a father figure, but I would say a lot of it is just, in a weird way, it's sort of being the dad you always wanted to be. Okay. But in a way, it's also just teaching them, like, what a man should be. But it's such a difficult question because I didn't grow up with a dad. Yeah. So I'm literally learning this. Thank God, like, I have Kim helping me, like, teaching me how to, like, be more, because as a dad, like, dude, I want to be Caleb's best friend. Yeah. But I also need to be his dad and be firm and strict with him, you know? And I'm a softie, like, that's my baby.
So what does Kim teach you?
She's teaching me, like, the more, I want to say the more, like, disciplinary side of things, where I'm honestly, like, oblivious to it, where I'm not even conscious that I'm doing things, but I'm just, where things like, I like to, not that I baby him, but things where, like, I'll make his lunch and I'll clean up after him, and she's like, hey, dude, he's 11 years old now, you can teach him how to do that on his own. And it's things that it's just a parent in me where I'm... Yeah,
it's 11, the care, but those are also very developmental for confidence.
Exactly. So that's what she's teaching me, that, like, hey, he's not your baby anymore. I mean, he is, but he's also, like, now, like, a younger adult, and he's got to learn these things on his own, you know? And it's easier said than done, but it's just...
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I think that's the most difficult part of being a dad or a parent is just... kind of like letting them be their own person. But what I can do definitely is, for example, recently he was dealing with, like, bullies. And that was a hard one because you're kind of like, dang it, like, I'm not about...
spark some stuff back from your childhood? Yeah, I was like, oh, that's deep.
Know, and I did tell him, like, Caleb, you know, I've gone through it too. And I think that the best thing you can do is just learn how to defend yourself. I'm not saying, like, flat out, like, punch a kid in the face, you know? Yeah. But, hey, like, if they're provoking you, there's nothing wrong with you defending yourself. And I saw so much of, like, of myself in him right there, where it was like if I was talking to younger me.
That's crazy. Like, I feel like at least from what I've learned from talking to a lot of parents, like your child will go through things that like you went through so that you can kind of close that chapter for yourself with your child, so you're growing together.
Absolutely. So he brought up to me like, hey, kids are picking on me, and they're pushing me around, and and so he had an approach. Well, his mom gave him the approach like, hey, just ignore them. And I had to have that talk with him where, Caleb, I think it's time you stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And again, it's like little me, and he's not confident and he's scared. And I'm like, look, dude, all it is just defending yourself. And if someone puts their hands on you, you put your hands on them back and watch, that'll stop. I promise you.
Yeah.
And his thing was like, I don't like feel comfortable. My mom's telling me this and you're telling me that. And it wasn't until I had to okay, let's stand up. Let's practice this. Let's pretend I'm a bully. And I push him, and he's like closing off, and I'm like, come on, push me back. And he's like pushing me, and I'm like, oh, dang, dude, that really hurt, So giving him that confidence. And I'm like, I promise you, like, defend yourself like I'm showing you right now, and it's going to stop. And sure enough, like that Monday, he called me after school telling me like, dude, I did it. This kid pushed me and said I was being annoying, and I pushed him back and said, shut up, you're annoying. And he stopped. And I'm like, see, dude, like, I'm proud of you. But then, like, I guess he's just been fighting kids all week. I know. And I'm like, dude, what did I do? But it's also, like, defending himself, you know?
It's a learn. It's a balance. It's a balance.
Yeah, but, okay, it's funny.
So funny.
Yeah. But again, like,
because Caleb is literally the sweetest
child.
You look at him and you're like, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
So for him to be like, you're annoying, like, it makes me laugh, but I'm very proud at the same time.
Yeah, me too. Like, I don't know. It's awesome to know that, like, okay, like the talk worked with him, and he's building that confidence, and it's cool.
So let's pivot topics, just because it's really cool. A lot of people don't know this. Like, you're also a bodybuilder.
Oh yeah.
So let's run it into there. What does bodybuilding teach the most that people misunderstand about the sport? Like, what do you think it teaches?
Oh man, so I think it teaches you that self-accountability. Self-accountability, discipline, of course. Again, we go back to like time management and like structure. I think because I started bodybuilding at 16 during high school, and it taught, like, I promise you, if I did not start bodybuilding at such a young age, I would not be successful, because it taught me like, hey dude, you have to be self-disciplined. You have to follow your plan even when no one's watching. And you just got to show up for yourself every day, no matter how you feel, no matter if things are hurting, aching, no matter if you're hungry, tired. You got to show up, get shit done, get your meals in, your cardio, your training, everything, So bodybuilding's, I promise you, like, if I did not start bodybuilding at such a young age, I would not be where I am today.
Who introduced you to bodybuilding? Oh
man, I think, let's see. Going back, the first like bodybuilder I met was my friend Kevin. And it was funny because I remember, like, he was like one of the biggest dudes in the city. I was out for a little bit, La Habra. He was like one of the biggest dudes, and I remember he like friend requested me on Facebook, and I was like, whoa.
Facebook, aging yourself.
Yeah, I know. And then so he's hitting me with like, he messaged me too, like, hey dude, like, you're pretty big, like, you want to work out? And I'm like, what? Hell yeah, dude.
You're like, I'm a unit, of course.
Yeah, and he reached out to me, and then we set up a workout. And I remember I went to his house, and he's like making a pre-workout, and he's like, oh, here, drink this pill, this and that. And then we're working out, and I'm like, dang, dude, I feel strong as hell today for some reason.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's the Anadrol I gave you. And I'm like, what? Like, I was like, what's an Anadrol?
Oh my God. You're like, is that a Flintstone vitamin? Like, that's wild.
And so, this dude, I mean, probably not like the best like influence at the time, but like it teaches you, like, or he taught me, like, he was sort of like my role model with bodybuilding.
Okay.
Because he was like a year older than me.
You still friends with Kevin?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so, but yeah, I would say Kevin, and then along the line, occasionally see like other bodybuilders in the gym, but I was always super shy to talk to them. So instead, I think like the ones that I like grew up watching were like Phil Heath, Jake Cutler. Obviously not knowing them, but just watching like their YouTube, day in the life type of things, kind of seeing how they eat, trained. But yeah, first real experience, my friend Kevin, and then YouTube for all the other knowledge and stuff.
So what separates people who talk about discipline from those who actually live it? Because bodybuilding does have such a huge theme of
So I
discipline.
think what's beautiful but also harsh about bodybuilding is you can flat out tell. You know how it is. Like you can tell if someone says they've been on prep for 10 weeks and they still look the same, it's like, yo, dude, what are you doing out of here, you know?
The math is not mathing.
Exactly, yeah. So that's what I love about bodybuilding too, because you can talk about being about it all you want, but you can't lie about it, you know? When you show up on stage, you're going to be able to visibly tell, like, yo, dude, something ain't adding up here, you know? You're either eating what you shouldn't have been eating, probably skipping cardio, things like that, you know? Because, like, I've seen a lot of people drop out of shows because bodybuilding is very, very, not only physically draining, but mentally draining as well. You know, like your social life will take a hit just due to the fact that, like, you know, a lot of the social events include food, and I'm not saying you can't enjoy that, but it is hard to stay disciplined when there's all that food around you and when you're starving, you know?
Those things, do you think that has helped you be a successful business owner?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's taught me that no matter what's going on in your life, like let's just say a bodybuilding prep, right? No matter what's going on in your life, like birthday parties, weddings, even like deaths, life is still going to happen. But if your goals are important to you, like finishing your bodybuilding prep, you still got to get it done, you know? So no matter what happens, good or bad in your life, you still got to follow your plan. And basically just because there's hardships does not mean you just got to throw away all the progress you've been making. Definitely.
No, I love that. I could see that too, especially in moments where you have to like start pulling yourself away just for your goal.
Yes.
Which is, I would say, a lot of people struggle with from an entrepreneurial, but also bodybuilding, but just self-development in general. Like there's a point where you take a step and you go, oh, my friends aren't growing around me, or you guys are really not being the best influence. So pulling yourself away. Have you had to do that in times of your life for the betterment of your growth?
Yeah, I think countless times. Like mental health is huge. And I think a part of that is who you surround yourself with. And there's been times where I've had friends with like toxic relationships, and it's like draining on your end, and it's not healthy for you. And just sometimes you have to cut ties with people. Or sometimes you're around people with like that negative mindset, and it's hard because you do love and care for people, but you also do have to set that distance, because you also have to have that love and respect for yourself too, you know? And sometimes it may sound harsh, but certain people may not be doing you like well for your mental well-being, or even physical well-being too, because that bad friends may lead to like other like bad decisions too, you know? Like,
So we're going to switch into the mentorship part of this program, gathering some questions, because you are a great mentor. Like every time I chat with you, like you mentor me. So a few questions for our people watching, the people in your like gym community, anybody that's going to reach this video. So what advice would you give a young man or a young woman that feels very lost right now in their life?
I would say that's kind of a tough one, but I would say, like, I'm a big believer in God. So obviously, like, have faith and know that if you are feeling lost or helpless, or kind of just you don't know what direction you want your life to head, it sounds easier said than done, but just have faith in God, where like this that time in your life is only temporary, and just go through the motions knowing that it's just a period in your life and you're gonna get through it, as long as you're not one to just sit around and feel sorry for yourself, but someone who, let's just say, shows up every day. Like, sooner than later your life will start heading in a better path, but that being said, you do have to put the work in. Pray daily, have good positive thoughts that you're feeding yourself every day, affirmations, and try to set up those plans. Like, if you have a big goal, doesn't mean you need to hit that goal right away. Start with those little baby steps, whether it's being a gym owner. Don't just start opening up a gym. Maybe start working at a gym, working front desk, kind of pick brains, learn if that's the sort of environment you even want to be around, because maybe it may not be being a gym owner, but maybe like a trainer, maybe even like physical therapist, massage therapist. There's so many fields within fitness that you could lead to. But again, it's just baby steps, and yeah, I think that'd be it.
I love that. So I'm gathering just like, number one, it's very important. Like, if you don't know where you're at in life and you're lost, like, you could choose two routes. Number one, it's like, let's just say you have a goal. Start with your goal because you're lost, and just work backwards and start to create a small plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's like you're lost because of your mental health, just start by working on yourself.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
said via like either prayer, or some people could say meditation, journaling, positive affirmations, and just start moving in the right direction. I think the biggest thing is just they start showing up for themselves and then see where the path takes them.
Yeah. One big one I think too is speaking positive things, not only to yourself, but out loud as well. If you're carrying yourself around as like a mopey, like sad person, it's gonna attract that to you, But if you're carrying yourself around a more positive mentality, it's gonna attract more positive people towards your life, and that can open up so many doors as well, like God knows, like, connections are everything, and if you're connecting and attracting positive, uplifting people, that's going to open up a lot of doors as well.
I love that. Question for you. You ready? What habits create strong leaders?
Habits that create strong leaders, I think, are, I don't know, but I'm a big, like, get up early.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm a big, like, get up early.
So you get up at 5?
Yeah, 5 every day, yeah. So I'm big on getting up early every day, taking care of yourself.
What does that look like for Juan? Because you give back to so many people. So what does taking care of Juan look like?
I think, like, for me, I don't know, but to me personally, I just get up in the morning and put like worship music on.
Okay.
Like take like my morning steps, do cardio. And when I do cardio, it's just like giving thanks. And like, I don't know why, but especially doing cardio like at your own gym that you've created, it just creates that like sense of gratitude, where like, hey, thank God I woke up another day. Thank God, like, this gym is still open and like people are in here. But yeah, gratitude, taking care of yourself, and then I would say never staying still or comfortable. Like, I've done lots of things. Like right now, moving into a bigger location. If you think about it, I invested so much money into this new building, and I gave myself a fat pay cut. Like my rent like tripled, so and that is the opposite of comfortable, that's a lot more stress on my shoulders. But again, like it's good to have that like pressure, because trust me, that'll keep you up and want you to wake up every morning. So never being comfortable, and like conquering like little daily tasks, because they will add up, and it may not seem like much, but just conquering those daily tasks daily that you may be putting off, whether it's like I don't know, car work, housework, or obviously for me, like gym work, like things that need to be done. So daily task, and then just following, like for me, like my bodybuilding prep, following my plan every day, making sure I'm getting all my meals in, hydrating, supplements, cardio, steps. And then, I think just doing that daily just creates good like habits, and it just becomes like sort of the norm, you know? Yeah. So just,
I love how structured you are. Like this whole conversation is just like ticking the boxes, which because if you know, Juan, you're very calm and relaxed, but it's just like inside, you're just like boom, 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 boom.
No, I kid you. Yeah, like me and Kim.
I'm like, huh.
Yeah, like Kim is always like, how do you forget everything? And I was like, I kid you not. Like, you don't know what's going on in here. Like, this is just non-stop. Like, I got to get this done. I need to reply to this person. I need to make sure this is scheduled. Or drinks, like stock, like or drinks in stock. Overwhelmed? No, surprisingly. I think, but again, it just becomes like the normal, you know?
I love that.
It can be overwhelming, but you just, again, like if you just sit around and think like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to do this? That's not going to get you anywhere, you know? Just shit's got to get done, you know, no matter what.
I love that.
Yeah.
So for you, we're going to move over into some like legacy stuff because this is really cool because I want you to picture yourself. So when people talk about you in 30 years, what do you hope that they say?
Oh man. I want to say like hopefully it's all good things, but one is like how I want to be that person where, hey, like ever since I met Juan or stepped foot in his gym, my life got so much better, you know, whether it's physically, mentally, or spiritually, you know, because at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be like that selfish person, you know what I mean? Like, it's about, to me, I think it's beautiful when you have those funerals that are huge, like, I want to be that guy. I know it's weird, but I want to be that guy where, like, they have like the biggest funeral and you would think like a president died, you know? But I want to be that guy where like people take time out of their lives to show their respects for a person that they owe like a lot to. Not a lot, but you know, like, hey, like thanks to Juan, like I built like great friendships with people inside of his gym, or I built the confidence to chase my goals, or thanks to Juan, I started my own business, and you know, things like that. Yeah, like I think just creating positive impacts in people's lives, and I want to create like business-wise, I really do want like more locations, and not only that, but I really want to see Caleb like grow up and love this life, and like carry it on too, you know. Like he's already speaking of like opening up like a restaurant and like little things like that. Like it's crazy, but like I think giving him something to, because again, I don't want something to just be handed to him. I want him to work for it as well and learn what it takes, but also just I want to leave him something where like, dang dude, like my dad like literally like almost died like doing this, you know, like it'd be nice to just and then nothing beats like knowing your family would be set for life, you know. That'll create like a ton of like peace in my mind.
What impact do you hope that your gym will make on this community?
Oh man,
the reason why I asked this is, so there was a moment when we were chatting at the old Revival and you're like, hey, I found this facility spot in Orange.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, but there's also this spot in Santa Ana. And you said, I think God wants me to stay in Santa Ana for this community. And I was like, ooh, like that was one of those where like my gut was like, oh man, we're talking about legacy. We're talking about this thing. So like, what do you hope? Because it's so crazy because our gym is in an area that you're actually making a lot more beautiful and like a little bit more lively and prettier, and like, and it's, to some people wouldn't be in a great location, but it's a phenomenal location because it's truly bringing the Santa Ana community back together.
Yeah.
What legacy do you want Revival to leave to your community?
Damn, that's a big one. And it's funny because like thanks to Joe for that, because Joe's the one that literally told me that, because I remember I was so bummed out that I didn't get the spot in Orange. And I talked to Joe about it, and he's like, dang dude, like I'm sorry. He's like, but hey, like maybe God wants you to stay in Santa Ana and like create a positive impact for the community, you know? And I look like what I want to create is something I wish I had when I was a kid growing up in Santa Ana. And I wish like we had that place to go to where you're surrounded by, like, thank God everybody in Revival was pretty positive, and just to be in a environment full of like positive people and everyone knows everyone, like that I think is like that strong community we have. And it just, I don't know, it's just, I want to leave people with like, hey dude, every time I stepped foot in Revival and I left feeling way better than when I stepped foot, you know? And yeah, and of course, like I do want to, I don't know, but I want to figure out how, but I do want to give back to the community. And I don't know if like, whether that's like sponsoring like kids in like need, you know what I mean? Like at-risk youth. But I definitely do want to give back, because I know like what the gym and bodybuilding did for my life. And I know so many other like kids coming up could benefit from it too.
So when you first started as an entrepreneur till now, how has success changed?
Dang.
Like your definition?
Yeah, so it's funny because I tell people all the time where like Revival right now is known for like community, like cool equipment and all that. And it's funny because when I first was like, dude, I want to open up a gym, to me it was just about having like a cool gym, you know, with like the cool equipment. And unknowingly, I never thought about like the community and the people that are in there. And thank God, like we've been blessed with good people that are in there and like making it what it is, you know? So I think it's, yeah, I don't know, it's cool.
How important as a young entrepreneur is it to celebrate success? How important is it in the development of you as an entrepreneur?
I think that's a tough one, because I have a very tough time like celebrating success. But I think like celebrating can come in like different forms, right? But I think for me, like celebrating is more so just like reinvesting in myself or in the gym, you know? It's like a bad habit I have, but you guys have seen it, where I'm constantly getting new equipment. So I think in a weird way, that's my way of celebrating, is just continuing to build it up, you know?
Yeah.
I know you guys love it, but to me, it's just always a work in progress still.
Yeah.
So I never see it as like this finished, complete thing to celebrate, you know? Like right now, having the grand opening, that was like a nice celebration.
Yeah.
But I think more so not like celebrating, but more so giving yourself those like pats on the back, you know?
How important are those?
I think they are like very important, because it's nice it gives you that like reflection, you know, where you look back and you're like, dang dude, like you're doing it, you know, you're doing it. And it's nice to look back at like where you started, you know, like for me, it was a 2,000 square foot little warehouse. Now we're in like a 12,000 square foot building, you know, it's crazy. And it's like, yeah, I guess it is important, but also like, again, like never be comfortable, you know, like it's a gift and a curse to have that mentality, you know? But yeah, it's celebrating yourself and your successes is huge. But never be like complacent.
Never plateau.
Yeah.
I love that. And the reason why I asked that is because like I am a young entrepreneur, and I got to a point where I felt like I wasn't evolving, and I had one of my mentors go, well, have you celebrated your success yet?
Hmm.
And the reason why I asked you that is it was funny because he goes, Becca, you're just chasing this dog bone. Like if you look at it, you're just chasing because you think that's what success is. And he goes, you don't even know the definition of success.
True.
So you have to celebrate all the little wins.
Yeah.
Because that is what evolves into what success is for you in your life.
Yeah.
So success for me and success for you is different. What is your definition of success?
Man. So
You said early, like waking up and being happy with your life.
Yeah.
Could you translate that into a business perspective?
Yeah, so business perspective, like being successful to me, it's hard because you want to say, or people, you want to hear like a number.
Yeah.
Like it may be like, oh, making 6 figures, I'll be successful, you know? But I could personally say like been there, you know, done that. And that to me is still not successful. Like to me, there's always room for improvement. There's always more you can achieve. But I think, going back to the first one, success is just being happy with what you're doing every day. Because I promise you, I'd still wake up with the same gratitude and joy, even if I was making half the money I was making. So success isn't a number. But it's more so, again, I think that's huge, is just loving what you're doing and being happy with your day-to-day like life, you know? I don't know.
No, that's good. Because I feel like a lot of people aren't happy, and I feel like just from listening to your story, you did a lot of scary shit and a lot of self-belief that led you into being happy every day.
Yeah.
So going through the scary patches, doing things, showing up, consistently improving. And for you, that's creating structured plans for that improvement that leads you to being happy every day.
Yeah.
So I could see how like your life has kind of come together, just based on this young kid just walking a mile to get into some guy's car to lose weight, and to like creating a facility where everybody just comes to be able to see you and be together. So closing question for you. If the next generation is listening right now, what is one principle that could change their life if they started living it today?
One principle. I would say self-belief. Yeah. Self-belief is like everything, you know, because I'm living proof of it, you know. I'm one that didn't come from money or like business background, but I just had that self-belief where I know how hard I'm willing to work at something, and I don't know how, but I'm going to get it done, you know. And again, everyone's goals could be different. Mine, even in the beginning, weren't being a gym owner. To me, my goal was just providing for my family, giving them a good life, a life I didn't have growing up. But self-belief, I think, is huge. Like, I have stupid self-belief where I walked into a building.
So for someone that has zero self-belief, like what would you say is like the first baby step into self-belief? What does that first baby step look like?
Absolutely, again, like I'm a big believer in God. Just having that faith, you know, you'll read stories in the Bible where there's crazy moments where people have had to have just faith in God, where they've starved and, you know, made it out. You know, God is number one. That'll teach you so much about having faith in yourself and just in life in general. And then working on yourself is going to create a lot of self-belief, you know. Showing up when you feel tired, showing up when you're hungry, sore, in pain, you know, that's going to create those self-beliefs, you know. Hitting like a PR, you know, you feel like, shit, dude, I can't believe I'm doing this, you know. But like, there's things that'll teach you a lot in the gym and even outside of the gym too. Like waking up earlier, going to bed on time, like all these little habits that seem small, they do create a lot of self-belief because it's just things that you're creating a better version of yourself, you know. So working on yourself and having faith, all that is going to create that self-belief, because it's coming from a guy who had zero confidence, was a fat kid growing up getting bullied, and just I'm one that had to like create that in myself, and it's led me to where I am now, you know.
I love that. It's so funny because when I hear you speak this, you do one thing, which is like, in order to have self-belief, like you have to be a self. Like you have to show up.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. Like you talk about having faith. It's like, okay, faith also for Juan, to be Juan, being a person. Also like showing up and doing your cardio is taking care of Juan. So if you don't even have any self-belief, you have to start by just being a self.
Yep,
And
exactly.
like showing up, living life, doing hard things.
Exactly.
And then slowly the belief will come.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And trust me, like, never look at hardships with a victim mentality. Look at hardships with, like, what is this teaching me? And what can I learn from it? And I promise after every hardship, you will get better from it, stronger from it, and you'll learn from it. It's, yeah, like, had my damn head cut open.
It was wild.
Yeah, had my head cut open. What did that teach me? Hey, dude, pay someone to put mirrors up next time, you know? Like, sometimes, like, but in the positive light, because I never, like, sat around and thought, like, dang, dude, why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
In the positive light, what it did was it showed me, like, the community we built. Everyone got together, helped out with the gym. My family showed up. It truly was, like, a huge blessing, and it's came in the form of a hardship, you know, where my damn head was cut open. But it'll show you so much, you know. I promise hardships, it sucks when you're going through it, but it's like one of the best things life could give you. It's just going to make you stronger in general.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Juan, that's all I had for you.
Sweet.
I'm so grateful for you.
Of course.
I'm excited to watch you grow because it's only been 6 years. Oh, before I forget, this is a question I've always wanted to ask you, and then we'll close. Why Revival Fitness? Like, why did you name it Revival Fitness?
So when the location I had with my partner originally, it was called No Limits Athletics. And like, even hearing it, like,
that sounds gross. Like, no
yeah,
offense. Like,
yeah, no,
homie to
yeah.
homie, like, no.
Yeah, that was never my idea, but I'm like,
That is not you.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
what?
exactly. Yeah, that sounds like a sporty gym or something.
Yeah.
And to me, so in that process of like, we're closing down and I'm putting everything into a storage unit, I'm trying to figure out what to name, like, the new gym. And there were so many things that, like, I knew, like, God was driving me towards, like, still, like, hey, dude, keep this vision alive. Like, I promise you it'll pay off. So I wanted to find something spiritual. Like, I was like, oh, maybe like Goliath gym, you know, something like that, like biblically. Yeah. But then I couldn't think of something. And then I remember at the time, Revive Sups, like those were like huge.
Those are great.
And then so I was thinking I was like, Revive Gym, but then they literally have one. And I went, oh, nope, not gonna happen. But I was like, dude, Revival. And to me, like, what I loved about Revival was sort of like, you know, when we're kids, we have these dreams, and then as we grow older, like, we lose sight of those dreams. To me, like, what I wanted Revival to be was like, hey, dude, reviving that little kid back in you and bringing those dreams back to life and giving you that confidence to, like, just bring a new version of yourself back to life, you know, or bring that kid in you back to life, you know. And it's also, like, spiritual, and just why not, you know, just creating a new version of yourself.
I love that.
So yeah, Revival.
That's so sick. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. That was sick. Any questions from Franco? He's like, I'm good.
Sweet.
All right. Juan, thank you so much.
Of course.
It's been really cool to sit down and, like, learn a little bit about you and, like, how you think and how it's led you to, like, being as successful as you are today. I can't wait to see you in, like, 20 years.
Sweet.
It's gonna be sick.
Right.
Love growing next to you, buddy. It's cool.
Got